might make you say wow. Let's enjoy some fun conversation. We'll be shooting the shelf around the nation. Let's start shooting the shelf.
Good morning, Shelvanians. Shelfvanians? Shelfites? Shelf. Anyway, good morning. Welcome back to episode 182. It is Sunday night. I am freaking tired, but I'm happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this all week. Getting back on after missing last week. It was an intense week last week, but yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to have my co-host and partner in crime over here, Curtis. How's it going tonight, buddy?
Excellent.
Good. Your camera looks a little off center.
Fuck you. Fuck. Such a jerk, man. He's such a jerk.
I'm sorry. You know I'm feeling good when I go right for the jugular, like right out of the gate.
It's no one else. It's that like little thorn in my side, and you're just like twist.
I'm sorry. I had to. No, your camera looks fine. Folks, we've got a fun show tonight. We've got Quaid Cundall from Corsair, Tide Corsair Korea. I don't remember. Corsair.
Just for that, I'm not gonna be here next week.
Oh. Okay.
Because you made fun of my camera.
Spoiler alert. We were going to say at the end of the show that we're not going to have an episode next week because Curtis is traveling. But
there's a chance I could, but I'd rather not risk it. So
we'll it's all good. We're on the road to 200. We don't, we've got nothing to prove anymore. We did 4 years straight without missing an episode. So yeah. Anyway, got Quaid from Tide Corsair Creations coming on tonight.
Easy for you to say.
And Gina, and eventually we will be joined by Terrence once he gets home from work. But Curtis, who's out there in the shelf Sylvania?
Let's see. We have Trust a Screamer. Nice name. We have Brian Carr out there. We've got Blake, aka Recon Rage, Kevin Maboose. We'll watch for this guy. I'm a little, I don't know about this guy. I am here. Hello. We have Dave Orkin. So Dave Orkin has been showing me some amazing guitars that he's been putting together. And I tell you what, if you think that the customizers in the Cabal are pretty amazing, you should see the stuff that he's doing on these guitars. They are fantastic. I'm telling him that he needs to like go into customizing guitar business, like sell those, because they are pretty spiffy. So hit up Dave if you want to see what kind of cool stuff he's doing.
And for those of you younger than 85, spiffy means cool or awesome.
Yeah, I could have pulled out the Nito Torpedo, but that's. This
is a family show.
Yeah. We got the artist formerly known as Twizzler19 here, V-Dog.
Oh! I did it.
That was pretty good. There it is. Darla Akerman, I know her. She messed with my camera. William Husted is here. We have Tanya McCoy in the house. Jesse Marshall, the other Jesse, is here. We have James Studio Sasamudio. Omar Munez is here. We got Gina. She'll be on here in just a second on screen. We've got Dub 3. Freaks Figures. My son Ty is here. We have let me quick Ty story. So he ordered food today. He ordered some food for delivery. He doesn't have a car. So, unless we're going out with him or something, he usually orders delivery. So he ordered delivery, but he's been trying to watch his money. He's been doing good. He's been doing good, some good budgeting. So I'm upstairs customizing, and I hear Darla talking to him, and she's like, how much was the delivery fee? And he tells her and all this kind of stuff. And then I hollered down the stairs. I was like, did you tip? And he said, yeah. I said, well, how much did you tip? He said, $1. He said, because I'm trying to save my money. I said, how much was the bill? He said, $27. I said, and you tipped $1. I said, are you trying to eat their spit? Is that what you want? So I had a few dollars in my wallet. I gave him to tip him because, yeah, you don't tip $1. Come on, Ty, you're better than that. Anyhow, Junkie Crafts and Builds is here. We got JMax77. Jesse, you want to take this one?
Kevin Maboots 77 with a $4.99 super chat. Hello, everybody! Exclamation point.
There you go. Jen, aka Lucky Sprinkles, is here. We've got Von Burke Studios.
Oh,
sir, welcome.
Wait.
Oh,
hold on.
Yep.
I gotta.
I don't think we've been fingered on Shooting the Shelf before. There you go. We got Downright Diabetic here. What's Dave talking about? He's talking about next week. I was like, we got a show right now. We're doing it.
Doing it well.
GL Shaw 3203 is here. We got Michael Morales, Kevin McCoy. So that's 2 McCoys here. There's Steph. So we got 2 Orkins here as well. And Benny Torres is here. So hey,
BT.
So Steph, we love you too. That's everybody. Currently.
That is everybody. Currently. So thank you to everybody who is here, whether you're typing in the chat or just listening. Thanks for being here. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for doing that. And I'm not going to say all the other stuff that every other channel says because you know that stuff. And we have guests to bring on. So ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, lend me your ears. Where's my button? Please put your hands together for a round of digital warm applause. Nope, that wasn't right.
Nailed it.
Welcome to the shelf. Quaid, Cundall, Corsair Creations.
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
Hello. And Gina.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Gina.
From Terrence's Next Toy. And Gina.
Let's see.
Welcome to the shelf, folks. Thanks for being here tonight.
Good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
I was messing with the sound effects. Jesse always does them.
I was having a stroke.
I don't know that one. Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't put that one in there. There's built-in ones now. I'm not going to comment on everybody's internet stuff because it's happening. So,
okay.
I'm not on a delay for a change. I'm commenting on it. Dang it, stop. So, hey, Curtis, what are we doing?
Shelf selections. I actually, as you were introducing our guest, I remembered to pull them in because I didn't beforehand because I was obsessing about my camera. So here we go. Starting with the first one. Did you put these? I gave you 2 for this. Are they back to back?
They're back to back, and you had more than me, so there might be a couple of yours before any of mine.
Okay. So let me. Yeah. So I picked out 2 for I think this is a new one for me following. Let's see if I can do this right. Luis L. Coleccionista. Anyway, there were so many good photos that I like normally I'll save like a photo and I put it in my little shelf selection folder in my phone. I had like 6 photos this week just from this one account, and they were new ones. It's not like I went back and was looking at like he's doing all kinds of stuff, and they are fantastic. So I had a tough time picking out, because I thought Jesse was going to put them on one slide. I was like, well, I can't fit more than 2, so I'll narrow it down to 2. So I went with these 2, But this account, if you're not following it, you should follow it because it is fantastic. Love me some Mafex, love Batman and Superman, and these two shots are fantastic. He does do some like behind the scenes stuff as well. And just a couple of the things that I love by a great photographer. So
those are my favorite accounts that go into just a little bit, without telling everybody all their secrets, what they do to get the shot that they enjoy. And I can't even, I do a little bit of that myself, and I can't even begin to guess some of what went into a couple of these shots.
I thought you sent me AI pictures, and I was like, what is Curtis doing? Like, and I'm sorry I didn't put them on the same slide. You said they went together, so I figured they were so drastically different that they needed to be on their own image. But like I stared at these forever on my phone when you sent them, and I was just like, how is this real?
They make you wonder.
If it wasn't for the behind the scenes stuff, I would have questioned it myself.
But just especially the one on the street with all the
right?
Yeah, because it looked like a real sky. It looks like a real sky.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. It's awesome.
It's pretty impressive. So yeah, I was just blown away by these things. He had one where Superman was punching Joker and he just like exploded. It was crazy.
Look that one up when I follow this account later, because that's what we do.
But yeah, I mean, just like I said, great account, pretty awesome. So check it out. And who doesn't love Mafex? So all right. Next one is one of mine again. This was mine, right? Or is this yours?
This is mine.
Okay.
This is Culls_Cave.
I know why I thought it was mine real quick. He's been doing several with the Sentinel. I think I did the one, was it Wolverine? Like not the past show, but the one before that. And he's reason I've mentioned that is because he's been asking in these posts, like, who should I do next fighting the Sentinel? Mm-hmm. So if you want to see other characters fighting the Sentinel, go into that account and let him know who you want fighting them. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I need to go read that and comment Rogue.
That was one of the options. Yep.
But no, this is great. I just thought this was really cool for the more, slim down, cartoony looking Sentinel. And just the way it's posed, and with the Cyclops looking like a total badass there. Mm-hmm. Like you said, usually like Wolverine or some of the other folks are like on the Sentinel. So this is really cool to I just thought this was really cool. That blast effect is awesome. And just everything about it, it's one of those pictures that's like, yeah, Cyclops, I mean, he might be like the Boy Scout of the team, but he's pretty cool.
Oh, Cyclops is my favorite. Seriously.
Okay.
You don't get better than Cyclops. Seriously. Everybody else's powers, depending on the character, tend to be sometimes a little kooky to me, but there's nothing Cyclops would do that isn't cool, in my opinion.
Gina?
I like how it's that forced perspective with that background, like completely blurred out, that your eye is like, you have to look right there. You have to look at that effect. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I commented this on when we saw it, like he was fighting Wolverine, that when I saw this Sentinel come out, I said to myself, I don't need this one because it's not as detailed as the HasLab. Obviously it's supposed to be the animated version, but I just felt like it was lacking in a lot of the detail and stuff. And then this guy's been doing this photography with this Sentinel and making me really, really want one of these. He's been doing just a fantastic job. So yeah, great work here.
He's enabling you.
And I know, right? I don't need it. I don't need it. Don't need it.
I didn't just get a chance to get any of the Marvel HasLabs, and if nothing else, I wish I had the money to get the Sentinel.
Yeah. All right. Next one is one of mine. This is Titan Shots. And I just love the whole setup of this. Like that you've got like this, inside of a warehouse, you've got a street scene out front with a vehicle and buildings and some trash built up. Like, it is just a whole scene. It's not just like one character. It's not like, there's so much stuff here. It's so elaborate. The way that this is put together, even to the point of like the walking pose on that figure. Like, this is just really well done. I absolutely love this.
The depth of field is executed extremely well. That's what I like seeing, is layer upon layer. If you can get a background somewhere in there, get a character in the foreground, it's the more stuff you can get in a shot without it looking cluttered, the more fun it is, in my opinion. This does that really, really well.
It looks like a scene out of a movie. Yeah.
I love the way the exterior light is coming in. That cold blue exterior light spilling into the room is nice. Like, all the trash and debris on the floor. You can almost hear like the paper rustling around in the breeze, and like the guy's shoes, like his shoes like stepping on the floor and everything. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a very, very well executed shot, and I'm sure Frank's shot is going to be very well executed too.
I'm gonna Tarantino this a bit and pop back to this number one, because I forgot to pull up something, and that is this. Let's see, this behind the scenes. So, like, I don't even know.
Wow.
I don't even know where, like if you go back to the actual photo, like you've got all that, like the Bat computer and the inside of the Bat cave, all this kind of stuff, and it's all part of that diorama. Like, that's, I don't know, man. That's crazy. I don't know if he built that or if he bought that, but that's just wild. So
That's really awesome.
yeah.
Wow.
Pretty impressive. All right. Back to,
I think he had like 5 different lights in there.
right.
When you said Tarantino this, I thought you were going to like pull up feet pics, and I'm like, what is going on?
No, just go back in time. Yeah. Okay. Back to Jesse.
Toy photo guy with is this I don't know, is this a Mezco crow or a Mafex? I don't know which one it is, but I thought it has a similar feel to the Punisher one we just saw, but just from like the other angle, where you're seeing from the outside in, or into the darker interior, and like all those like washed out lights on the back. It feels like a moment, like the lighting and everything feels like something right out of the movie.
Yeah, it feels like those are headlights on the back wall. Like a car just pulled up or something. Once again, just like the Punisher one, you have all this like debris around and stuff. It just, graffiti on the wall. It just very much, it feels real. It feels like a lived in world. So,
Yeah.
Quaid?
I absolutely love it when you can make, you're already looking at a fantastic figure as is, but you can make a garbage figure look wonderful with the right lighting. And I just appreciate it when people can get that cinematic look out of just what they have lying around. Clearly this person has lots of really good things lying around, but what's selling it is those lens flares in the back.
Yeah. Gina?
Yeah, it looks like it's a scene from the movie, which is my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies. And so yeah, it brings all the feel. It, like, again, it looks real. It doesn't just look like a figure. It looks real.
Can I admit something to you guys? I've never admitted to anybody else before.
Give us a scoop.
You don't like the crow?
No, I love the crow. But thinking of Brandon Lee, I have to admit, I was thinking about this the other day because somebody was talking about one of these movies. I have never seen a Bruce Lee movie. Not a single one.
Same.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Not
I've
even
never seen
parts
full
of
one.
a Bruce Lee. I've not like, I maybe clips on YouTube, but I've never even seen like a part of a Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
So I just felt like it was time for me to share that. So
Well, it sounds like you have homework next weekend.
maybe let me know in the comments what I should watch if I was going to watch one Bruce Lee movie, to tell me, like, if I watched one, to say, yes, I like this, I'm going to watch more, or no, I'm not. If you had to give me the definitive Bruce Lee movie, throw it out there in the comments, and I will give it a watch. So,
You're going to make him wait 9 months or whatever to watch a Bruce Lee movie? This is the one I thought was going to. Yep, 2 people with Enter the Dragon. That's what I was thinking.
okay. Check it out.
Can I share a secret with you, Curtis?
Yeah, please.
I've never seen that either.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe we should watch.
I feel like I've seen part of some Bruce Lee movies. I don't know if I've ever sat down to watch one other than like the biopic, the like Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, from the 90s. But anyway,
maybe
I've
we need to
watched
watch
some of these
Enter the
documentaries
Dragon
before.
together, like you do with your mom. Like we get on FaceTime or something, and we'll start at the same time or something.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Next is one of mine, and dude, Maverick is nuts, man. Like he is now in like Nate Armstrong territory, where it's just like, I don't know what his brain is doing. Like this is just freaking wild. You got Ularia parts mixed with Ganesha parts, mixed with Kern Ray parts, extra arms on this thing. You got torsos plugged into head spot. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's cool. It's awesome. And this guy is so creative. And I don't know how his brain works that way. So that's all I got. Jesse.
I agree with everything you said, and this makes me incredibly uncomfortable to look at. Like
That's how you know
like,
it's art. That's how you know it's art.
Yeah, like just the ability to pop those pieces together. Like I was like, what is that in the helmet piece, the Ganesha belly? Does that fit? And I was like, I want to try that. And then I'm like, no, I've got too much stuff to do today to mess around with those things. But yeah, this is awesome. Maverick's always making insane pop and swaps. Yeah.
Quaid, thoughts on this crazy thing?
I saw this one probably it was about a week ago, and I had all the same things run through my head, although I'm one of those folks that's most fascinated by the weird and wacky. So instead of making me uncomfortable, probably made me a little too comfortable, wishing that I had all 3 of those figures that I wasn't interested in before. And now this is making me want all 3 of them. The real conversation is what is going on the back. Like I can pretty much figure out how this thing is working just by looking at it, but not how he's managed to get all those arms right in the back of it. And I don't recognize that weapon either, but this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen someone do with anything from Horseman, actually. And a lot has come through my feed in a year, but this is impressive.
Yeah, this is just wild, man. So Gina, thoughts on this
I
one?
think it's really cool. I love that he, like completely transformed it into something nobody's ever imagined. But I also want to know why he stole Trevor's blue light.
Rude.
Well, Trevor, Jesse and I did not
Trevor.
say that. Please, if you are watching, don't turn it off. We love you.
I love you too, Trevor. It was just right there. It was right there.
All right, one of Jesse's.
Holy.
Speaking of blue light, here's Ripley hanging from the edge of the spacecraft fighting the Queen, and it's just awesome. This is from collectors.orbit. I saw it on my phone when my eyes were like, I was like, what? I wasn't processing what it was, and then I had to like pull it up on my tablet, and I was like, oh dang, that's freaking awesome. Like you feel the weight, you feel the gravity, you feel the vacuum of like the air rushing out, and it's just really, I'm not going to say awesome, fantastic.
Yeah. So OffWorld on Friday, the show that Jesse doesn't visit us at anymore. We were talking about the greatest movie monsters. It was just a bracket that we found and pulled up real quick. We had Alan on, and between Alan and Dylan, like there was some like off the wall stuff that I've never even heard of. I think some of it they made up. but they really love the Xenomorphs, and I had to just keep quiet because I'm not an Aliens fan. I really do not like the movies. So
I've never seen them in an entirety. I've never watched a whole one.
I had not until like this past year, and then the guys gave me shit about it, and so I did it. I mean, it's just not for me. So the action is good and stuff. I don't like them. They're creepy. I don't like them. It gives me the willies. But that being said, this is a very well constructed photograph. It looks really cool. I love the perspective. Great job. But I do not need this in my collection. So Quaid.
My background is trying to escape. Sorry. No, this is exactly like the last couple of shots that I like seeing. Is it doesn't even have to be recreating it. In fact, I like it if you can make something look like it is from the film, but from an angle that you didn't get to see, as the director didn't think of. I'm right there with you, Curtis. I am not a fan of that franchise. I love the visual artistry of what has gone into the Xenomorphs, especially the Queen, but I can't abide those films. I do not like things that are gore for gore's sake, and I think it's mostly purposefully used in that original one, which I also have never sat all the way through, but everything, I mean, they've made about 27 and a half of them, I think, so yeah, no,
You guys chased off Dusty with your Aliens hate.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that's too bad. But this shot is fabulous, and I've actually always wanted to get a Xenomorph Queen just for that, and I have no idea where I would start because they're always really expensive.
I think the big thing for me, thing that like super gives me the willies, is anytime that something is being forced into or out of somebody's mouth.
Oh,
not a fan.
No.
Not a fan. Like that's, no. I should be able to control what goes in, what comes out. I don't need somebody else helping me with that. So
nope, I can't stand. It got even worse by the time they were starting to. Again, I don't follow it. I don't know, but it looked like they were starting to turn humans into xenomorphs, xenomorphs into humans. People turning inside out into a zem. No, I don't want it.
No. Gina.
So again, with the way that they played with the light in this, you can, like Jesse was saying, you can really feel that movement. And I love the photos where you feel like you can feel it. So I like that about this one.
Yeah, it does feel like that airlock has just been opened and it is sucking everything out of there. Yeah. Brian, that is not shocking because you like all kinds of creepy shit. So
I imagine that Brian probably just disowned me.
Yeah.
I love this franchise. I didn't really get into it until I was into college. I think I caught one of them at home on a break one time, and then I got like the quadrilogy DVD set. And I got like a bottle of wine because I didn't have to work that weekend, and I just like watched all 4 movies over the weekend at the time, like 20-something years ago.
Talk about a hangover.
And well, I mean, it was over the weekend, and it was cheap. It was cheap stuff. There's probably hardly any alcohol in it, but it was. I don't know. I really like it. I think it was freshman year of college. We went and saw whatever the fourth one was. I forget what the fourth one's called.
Return.
I don't know.
It's something with an R, I think. But
Requiem?
No. Doesn't matter. I saw that in the theater with friends at Thanksgiving or something. But it like Resurrection. Thank you, Mike. It was where like Ripley comes back as like a clone of herself. Like she dies in the third one. And I was like, all right, I got to watch the rest of these. So, and it's by far like not the best one by a long shot, but anyway,
Alien. I know Predator versus Alien gets a lot of shit, but that's my favorite concept. Like if I was going to watch any of the movies, that's what I would watch just because I would be rooting for the Predator. So
You should watch Predator Badlands. That one was pretty. Spoilers. That was like that movie has been able to drink alcohol for like 5 years at this point
Oh
or
boy.
more.
That movie is drinking a bottle of wine.
Yeah, and watching the Step Up franchise. No,
all right, next one is one of mine. This is M.W. Forrester, and he's been doing some awesome shots all year long. This is so freaking cool, man. You talk about like the movement, in like captured in a photo. Like this is just really cool. I love the rays coming in. I love the splashing of that water. Like this is, yeah, I don't know, man. This is just super cool. And Templars, hell yeah. Love it. Jesse?
yeah, this is sufficiently creepy and like somehow
Hopeful?
what's the word? Like not sanctified, but some like holy. I can't think of the right word, religious term, where it just feels like, okay, it's a dead guy, but like feels like he's rising up to fulfill like a good deed and not serve necronomicus. I feel like it's like he's being blessed by the light to carry out the last stage of his mission or something. I don't know. It's really cool. I think it's a gorgeous shot. The light rays are amazing.
Quaid?
There's a melancholic feel to it. That's what makes me. It's the word that comes to mind anyway, and that's, I think, especially when it comes to mythics and generally when folks are photographing those, you're telling a story of your own, which I'm going to latch onto immediately. And I really like that this could go either way for whoever's looking at this. Your own interpretation of what was behind the photographer's head and what was going through his mind when it came to the story he was telling. This is very provocative, and those are my favorite shots, is when they're begging for there to be more and there isn't yet.
Very cool. Gina?
So again, that light coming in those windows is amazing. But again, I love that every single one of us looked at this and came up with a completely different story behind it.
Yep.
And that's the really cool part of it. Like, I didn't even realize that, like, Curtis saw that as water. Like, I saw it look like a coffin, but I took it from a different direction. Like, he was taking down Dracula inside the coffin, and that was like him going up in smoke. Like, so every single one of us looked at this picture and put this whole completely different story behind it. So
I thought it was water too at first, but I think it's intended to be either dust or soot or cobwebs, perhaps. But I thought it was water as well.
yeah.
It's cool, whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, he played Chop Suey on it, so yeah.
Such a good song.
Jesse?
Whoa.
The Hung Gungan with Kong versus it was this monster hunter, I think, whatever that creature is. I can't remember if someone sent this to me or not, but I love the colors in the background, the purple and the blue, and then like the browns and the greens and the yellows up front. It's very cool. And I think the difference in like the focus and the tones, for me, it like pulls my eye to all the different things instead of just being like super focused on the figures. I like the way they kind of not blend into the background, but kind of blend into the background a little bit.
Yeah, this is neat. I love that posing. That's really cool. I don't know what that figure or what that line that figure is from. That obviously not the Kong, the other one. But
I'm pretty sure it's
awesome.
Monster Hunter.
Is it? It's from that line. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just really cool. I like this. This is just some great posing and photography. So nice work. Quaid?
I'm impressed by the color theory. It does very much remind me of, I think, the last two Godzilla Kong things that came out, which despite the quality of the film, there was definitely a drastic shift between, you watch that one in 2014 and you basically might as well watch a black screen with some movement on it. And then you have these last two, which are nothing but colors and giant animals and good contrasting tones. And so it very much reminds me of movie scenes, but something way cooler happening in this shot than was necessarily happening in all those films. I'm always gonna get behind a dragon. That's my favorite thing ever. And so you put King Kong next to it, and you pretty much made my best friend. It's funny because I think Transformers did a crossover of that exact brand with that exact dragon. Like they made an Optimus Prime that turns into that dragon. He's stupid looking. So that's not something I was interested in. But this figure looks fantastic, and they've set it up in a really depthful way. I want to know where those palm trees came from.
Yeah, I don't know. Gina?
So what I like about it is the actual contrast between the bright, happy colors and like this massive fight going on in the front. Like it's those conflicting emotions of the happy colors and the vicious fight. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Awesome.
It communicates a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Last one for the day. Sorry,
Whoa.
we're ending up on a gross one. This is visual approach photo. I believe this one had some behind the scenes that was kind of gross. So check that out at your own peril. But yeah, this is cool and nasty, and I love it. I love the setup for the shot with the two characters, but then also like the diorama background. Looks like you got a carver or a crash box piece in the far background, and then a different piece here in the front. The light coming in, a little statue in the background. Like it's just really well put together. I love this. Jesse?
This feels like a scene right out of Predator 2, but in this cathedral type space. The creepiest thing to me in this image is that statue that's just like lovingly caressing the tombstone or whatever that is back there. Like that unnerves me more than the rest of this picture. There's just something weirdly like serene and like unaffected. I mean, but no, the lighting, all the different tones, the shadows. That the musculature figure, like I've never wanted to go to one of those human body exhibits. If you're familiar, I know they have one in one of the James Bond movies. Like that just freaks me out because it's like that's somebody's uncle or something, and we can see all his muscles without him. I don't know. It just weirds me out. But this is really cool. This is really gritty. I want to see a Predator in a medieval setting now. In my opinion.
So like I said, there is a behind the scenes, there's a video, and then a shot of this like flesh that he's using here. He used Elmer's glue and paint and like basically like used Elmer's glue on his hand, painted it, and like peeled like strips off and put it on here. It is super freaking gross. But yeah, check it out. It's an interesting idea. So Quaid, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I don't want to know what this guy did to end up where he is now, but that's a story that's not provocative to me. I want to see that movie, but I'm absolutely loving what they're doing with the diorama in the background. Every single time somebody can get naturalistic lighting coming through a window, that's probably going to end up in my save folder. What's going on in this shot is not making me jump up and down, but it's executed extremely well.
Gina?
So it's funny. The thing that I like the best about it is the actual diorama pieces. The way there are so many, like there's columns and there's I guess it's like the parapet at the top, and then the archways, and then these windows, and like I really like that. And I love his attention to detail of putting those stringy glue things everywhere, including like on his forearm thing, whatever that weapon
The
is.
blade.
It's on the forearm.
Yeah.
There you go. It's like there's every inch of that, or every smaller than an inch of that photo has something to catch your eye. And the more I look at it, the more things I see in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I love all the different, like the angles, the different shapes of everything in there.
Yeah. Really, really beautiful.
Visual contrast
In a gross way. And that will do it for shelf selections. I did have one shout out before we get rolling with the rest of the show. Our good friend Matthew Dooch, who used to be on OffWorld podcast, the same as Jesse before they both abandoned me. He is currently at the Bears playoff game because he had submitted he wrote a thing and submitted it for his son, and it got drawn. And so his son was able to go on the field. And after the opening kickoff, he was able to run out in the field and grab the tee and bring back. So they are like sitting right on the 50-yard line down. They had sideline passes. Right now, they're like basically in the front row, and his kid got to run out on the field for a playoff game, which is just super cool.
That's amazing.
Who is this again?
Dooch's son.
Oh, Dooch. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
you said that, and my brain didn't register that as a word I understood because I haven't heard it said out loud.
Matthew Dooch. Yeah. So currently it's a tie game. If anybody's watching both or wanting to know, it's a tie game. So we'll see. Hopefully for Dooch and his family, I know they're huge Bear fans. So hopefully they pull out the win. So
go Blue Jays.
I'm going to mute really quick because Terrence just got here and the dogs are going to go nuts. So I'm going to mute for a second.
Okay.
We'll pop you back out for a second.
He even said, cue the dogs. All right.
Oh, jinx.
Have at it.
Only a
Jesse.
true jinx if it happens at the same time. So
And that took all the steam out of me. I don't the jinx. Like I don't know where I was going next.
I'm going to get a Coke, so you go ahead.
Coke.
Yeah, jinx.
All right. You might have to pull a website up. I'm gonna try it if I get laggy.
Okay, well, just tell me what to pull up.
Well, I will. Go get your Coke.
No, it was a joke. Like Jinx, you owe me a Coke thing. Yeah,
it was a Coke joke.
yeah, it was. A Coke
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
do
yeah.
drugs.
joke. That's the wrong
Wrong
that's the wrong
joke.
kind. Yeah,
Good Lord.
yeah.
I'll send it to you in the private
Just send it to me on
chat.
face place. On the face
That
place.
means I gotta
messenger.
open a third. Gotta open a third thing.
Well, where do you want to send it to me? And I'll send it to myself on
This is
face
called.
place.
See, Quaid, you gotta apologize. You've got to apologize.
I'm sorry.
I've got to apologize
Yeah.
to you.
Quaid, apologize right now.
I am
You want 2 or 3 apologies?
As many as we need.
prepare well.
Yeah, we don't
See,
prepare.
I'm
at all.
on a delay now.
Oh, I don't want to know how delayed I am at this point.
All right.
You're actually been yours has been good. So
You're
all right.
fine.
Yeah. All right.
Am I
Here
back?
we
Do
go.
I feel like I'm back
Yeah,
to
you're
normal
good.
now.
You're good.
I haven't lost you.
All right.
Okay.
Look at these guys.
Ugly. Most of them. One of them is pretty cute.
Which one do you think is cute?
That's for you guys to decide.
I'd say the Raleigh cute one on the far right.
Mm,
He's the
That's a
pretty boy.
Cthulhu joke.
gotcha.
We've had already too many Coke jokes for one evening. I don't know if we can handle Cthulhu jokes.
That's true.
Oh. Well. Ooh.
I'm gonna say this video is a fantastic one to start off with. That'll give you pretty much all the details you get in one shot.
Super cool.
I have to make a comment, Curtis.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Like Curtis's kid tipping the delivery guy earlier, I hope you're tipping the painters really well. There are so many buttons and rivets and clasps, and holy crap.
Yeah, there's a lot of paint hits here.
I would say the
These
horsemen
are-
have been fairly well tipped because they have pretty much every cent we had to our name. So they've been sufficiently tipped.
Nice. These look phenomenal. I have to admit I have not gotten to watch any of the full shows you've been on to see the whole thing, but I've seen pictures of stuff. But seeing them here like this, it just
Don't worry, because of his internet connection, Quaid hasn't seen the full shows either.
Yep, exactly. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you. I didn't see the whole show. I didn't get to be in the whole show. It's
a lot better
show.
tonight. I think this is the most clear I've seen you. So, let's.
we've got
Well,
Yeah, we got Terrence and Gina here.
helping my complexion anyway.
Hey,
You got past the dogs.
I think they're
look at that
muted.
artwork. That's cool.
So that
Who did
is
this?
our full spread thus far from Noah at Edge Comics. He did all three of those himself.
Oh, cool.
And he's somebody that I ran into. Well, I ran into Omar, who I'm quite confident is watching, or at least means to be watching.
Yeah, he was
um,
earlier.
Yeah, on the Cabal, and reached out to him just purely curious what all they were dabbling in. I think I noticed his illustration of Baethier first, and the minute I saw that one, I went, well, I don't know if this kid's got a career yet, but let's try to make one for him because he needs to be all over the Pirates. And of course, they were probably a month into the sculpting process when we started that, so we couldn't even say anything. It was agonizing. And he got these done almost right before Legion's Con. So they've been floating around for a little while, but I still run into people who haven't seen them yet. And they're fabulous. There's not a thing that he doesn't put his hand to that doesn't look phantasmagorical, another 300-letter word. And it's giving fans the best idea possible of the scope and our intentions surrounding this line. Obviously, like I just said, my wife and I invested, it's just about literally everything we have into these three prototypes. And we've started small for lots of reasons, one of which of course being that was the budget, but there's some other reasons behind that one. So we wanted to give folks a good idea of what the intentions are, how much world building this world does possess on its own, and how many characters are in the background that we haven't even talked about yet.
Gotcha.
And I think when we were talking to get you on the show, you said that there's some like exclusive story stuff that's only on the website, correct?
Yes, there's a couple of things they made the rounds briefly. I think like throughout Christmas, I dropped a couple of the things that are on the website here and there on social media, but it's
okay.
Christmas was what it was. Folks are distracted. So I don't think that too many people saw them, and the best place to get a good look at them is that website. Every single time somebody has a question, it's been really good it's been a good gauge as far as how we've constructed that website, because we've had really good feedback as far as it answering people's questions, getting things in front of them quickly and clearly. So we're always looking for improvement on the website, but it's the best tool when somebody's curious about it.
Awesome.
Gina, if I was going to provide him with some feedback on these figures, what do you think I would say?
They suck.
The Gina and Terrence are muted on their end.
Yeah.
No more. Sorry, fixed it. I don't know what you would say. I think they're awesome.
I do think they're awesome.
They're awesome.
I do think they're awesome, but 2 out of the 3 figures.
Oh, bare feet. Never mind.
Got them digits out. Got them toes. We need to cover them toes.
You're gonna
Toe
have
picks are all part of the Tide Realm experience.
have Darla make some boots to go with her capes.
Yeah. Well, the first guy has boots. He's got he knows the deal. He's got the toes covered.
I mean,
there, Curtis.
if you're undead, cursed, ghoul, otherworldly being, does it really matter if you're wearing boots?
Apparently, it makes Curtis uncomfortable. My wife said Curtis's toes look squelchy, and we've said it ever since.
I think
go back to those toes. That's
if they're going to be on the
favorite.
beach, then I think it's okay. But if they're going to a convention, they need to cover them toes. So.
I don't think these guys are going to a convention. I mean,
they were just at a convention.
You
Actually,
never know, Jesse.
I mean, in character, in their setting. I mean, hopefully they go to lots of conventions
at Legion's Con.
I do like all the different hands and the expressive hands and stuff. That's cool.
We ended up with
hands
twice
are just
as
upstairs
many
toes.
Hands as it needs extra toes. You're right. I think it should have extra toes. There's, I think, 6 pairs of hands for each of those.
We need that McFarlane pivot.
A lot more than we thought we would. Curtis is dying. He's lost.
Sorry, I said something stupid. We lost Curtis, and
Upstairs toes.
6 sets of hands is a lot of hands.
Yeah, when it came to, obviously, one of the best ways to collaborate is, of course, that long distance between email swapping. So somewhere in there along the conversation of developing what everyone came from, I literally either did not catch or was not aware of how many hands they had said would be included with that base package, because obviously these come with as much as we could get in there. But I didn't even think to ask. While I was sketching them, designing them with maybe 1 extra pair of hands in my head, because I presumed that would be as much as the budget allowed. And we got well into production. Everything was actually finished, and we realized that people didn't have trigger hands ready to go. And Cornboy was absolutely wonderful with just getting that taken care of. I mean, all we had to do was mail back a couple sets of the hands for paint matching purposes, and they had them out and ready for photos within a couple weeks or so. It was pretty fantastic. And so then they had everything ready to go. And there's basically anything you could think of that you'd want those guys doing with their hands, they can do. And that's pretty cool for a package where folks don't come with more than 2 or 3 weapons. I'm very appreciative and very thankful that was within the budget, and we got that full loadout for them.
And MJ just said on the screen, like the fact that you've got rings on some of those hands and all those extra like little details. Like there's so many super cool details on these guys.
There's a reason we reached out to, obviously the Horsemen kind of changed the whole conversation when it came to breaking into the toy industry. There wasn't any breaking into. They wholeheartedly shook our hands and said, we want to help you guys do this. And the visual communication of what we had in our heads for what we wanted these figures to be, they surpassed it well beyond. We knew they were capable of that, but it was a completely different story seeing it in reality. And the sculptor that they pulled for this project specifically took it very, very, very seriously, and he should be extremely proud of everything he achieved, because they didn't bat an eyelash each and every time that we had either a small change or a suggestion moving forward. It was very intuitive. CB was right in there. There's quite a few details in there that were directly influenced by him. It was the most seamlessly collaborative process I've ever been a part of. And it's like everybody's heads were right in there with the same goal, the same train of thought with how to communicate these guys. Obviously you get hiccups through there when you hit a snag and you change direction, but that didn't happen very many times. And when it did, it was virtually overnight by the time people had a solution. It was just really fun. The whole prototyping process was really, really fun. And of course, now we're in the hard part of it, which is the marketing part.
Do you know who did the sculpting and the prototype painting?
I know his first name, and by virtue of the fact that no one's actually ever spelled it out for me, I'm not 100% sure if I'm supposed to say, but I couldn't tell you who. Totally, because all I know is his first name. I'm not sure, but they did select someone very specific for this project. I don't know what else he's worked on, but I imagine at some point they'll let me talk about it.
Well, if you have the first name, we know everybody, so
I do.
we would know. Very cool.
Well,
and then, did you say there's stories on here on the site?
Yes. So your homepage right here, that's giving you just that, boom, bang, everything in your face, that glossary view, which is just about, the main spot that everybody spends their time on. But the videos, that'll go, video section anyway, that'll go into
the individual videos.
Your individual videos, at least of the prototypes, those are right
these.
there on that front page here. So the videos section actually has a lot of the live streams that, as you
gotcha.
mentioned before, I haven't watched. And then when you go to the Pirates Codex there, that is where a majority of the written promotional material is. And then the prototype gallery is the deep dive as far as the details go.
Gotcha. Okay.
I want to say, just as fans of the Horsemen and the Legions lines and everything, we've had a couple other people on the show who've worked with them, designing stuff and working on projects like with Matt Rodriguez and the Defenders of Eden. We had, oh crap, I'm blanking on his name.
Sumia?
Yeah, Sumia with the Legends of Ramian.
Absolutely.
And it's always cool to, it's nice when the people that as a fan and collector that interface with people at the conventions and welcome us in for inventory for a day. What's it called?
Intern?
Intern. Good grief. That they're good to work with, obviously,
seriously. Not a single complaint.
And it's not just blowing smoke,
No.
That's always a really cool thing to hear. So
very cool.
I've worked on lots of, well, not lots. It's not like I'm that old, as everyone can tell. But I've worked on several large-scale projects, and there's never been a process that I've jumped into, not completely blind, but there were some blind spots, and they didn't miss a beat. It was within reason. When you're communicating through email, there's only so much people can do, but things were clear. Intentions were always made as far as, fulfillment and when to expect them, as far as at which stage you were at. Just phenomenal people to work with. They're phenomenal people to know, which is what's really, really nice about. And I think what separates that collaborative process, because while CB was who, headed up a majority of the communications, you got to know that company and you got to know it really, really well while communicating the design intentions, because there's a lot more to it than just people making toys. It's the people that are making the toys are the reason that story is as good as it is.
that's awesome. And I'll put it in the description of the show after it's over, but through the Corsairs.com down at the bottom. So if anybody's wondering what site we're looking at and want to look for yourself,
Actually, got a QR code. I don't know if it'll work, but there it is. If anybody is looking
bigging
for
you
it.
there real quick, go ahead and grab that, folks. Give that another second.
13 across, 7 letters.
Triumvirate.
What's a 7-letter word for deep sea carcass?
Man, there's so much
This
sculptural
one was-
detail.
It's
Interesting
so
to-
super
At
cool.
least when it came to Alistair, he was really interesting to film because his colors are they're a lot brighter than everyone else's, and so I only had one lighting setup to work with this particular studio that I was in, so I had to get really, really creative and force things that you're not really supposed to make lights do. But he specifically was interesting to photograph simply because of the mix of light and dark tones. And so once he comes into that brighter light, as the video goes on, it kind of transforms what you're expecting this to look like in the dark. It very much elevates it once he comes into the light. And it was just cool. I wanted a cinematic effect with some of the turnarounds here, and we got that by virtue of very limited resources.
I love the texture. on the
That
coat.
doesn't say. I love all the different textures on him.
They did an
Wow.
absolutely phenomenal job with that leather. That was at no point were we worried about whether they'd be able to achieve what we wanted, but we had very high hopes for the leather specifically, and it's what's unique to these characters. It's what's unique to this line, because there's a reason that people get excited within Legions now. The more folks we're seeing with leather boots, and implementing that texture is really, really fun and really, really unique. And they did a bang up job when it came to all the various different, the depth when it comes to his clothing was exactly what we were hoping for.
And
Yeah, even the stitching at the bottom of the boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how tall these are?
No, I've never seen them. Yes, I do know how tall they are. So they come up to about right at that 7-inch mark.
Okay.
It's closer. I mean, it's like right below that. Alistair is he's right there. You know, I've got like a half a centimeter difference. And then
now we normally hear that the prototypes are a little bit larger than what the final product is. Is that the case here, where it'll be a little bit shy of that, or you think that'll be pretty much?
I think these are pretty bang on for what they intend to produce them at. Charybdis obviously has got that little noggin, so he's just a little bit taller. But yeah, they are proportion-wise very different from Legions, because what we wanted was a little bit more realistic thing. So these guys have really long legs on them, which is interesting just to compare them to other figures. Obviously their proportions came out wonderfully, but there's a chunkiness to Legions that's not present on these guys, which is a really interesting contrast, and we were curious about how they were going to achieve that. We had to adjust the proportions here and there when it came to them, but especially these monster guys, it was easy to get that right.
I love the lighting you were describing here, because those shadow, it feels like the light from a torch or a lantern inside like the cabin of a ship, you know, where they're really extreme, all from one angle, and it's really capturing, like you guys were saying, all the textures and details of the fabrics and the leathers, and it just really lets the sculpt work stand out.
Deathmoid was especially fun to light here, because the intention with that anyway was to kind of emulate a little bit of the story content when it comes to him. So each of these guys have a very unique pendant on their neck that is story relevant. In fact, most of the sculpting on their bodies, whether it's an object or a symbol, is story relevant. There are reasons for it being there rather than it just looking cool. And so that pendant on Deathmoid specifically is that glowing red, what's referred to as the Mortis Oculus, and it's kind of a living entity of its own that he carries, and it casts this ethereal light everywhere he goes. There's all kinds of content describing what that is and what it does and why, but that was the intention behind the red lighting. And it was cool because I got it underneath him, and you get all of the, that prominent brow bone, and his eyes are that bleeding red already. So it came out really, really cool. But once you get him in the light, you forget all about that cool lighting, because that toy is way cooler than the shots I got of it. Oh, look!
I love the barnacles on the.
Oh yeah.
They're bones. There's no flesh there, so like, that's fine, right, Curtis? Like, as long as there's no skin on it.
Terrence sent me this one.
There we go. That's one that got a lot of attention over November, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's right in there, especially with some of those animalistic characters, because obviously Alistair is a human. He's a little bit shorter than that, but fits in wonderfully when it comes to, despite the proportional and visual difference, he stands really cool next to Quaid. They have a very different intentionality behind what they're communicating for Dawns of Discovery, but I think people are excited to take a look at those things next to each other.
Gotcha.
For sure. And I know you have on the website, you have it listed that, early 2026 is the plan. Is there anything updates for Kickstarter or anything yet that you're able to share, or is still that one?
I anticipate that being the most common question we get for the next 4 or 5, hopefully not 6 months. But I think I didn't even have a chance to share this with Terrence the other day, because we're going back and forth about some of the things too, because he's helping out immensely when it comes to getting the stuff in front of people. And I think 3 days ago, I don't remember what day it is. It might have been Monday, actually. So a little while ago, I did get, I won't go into everything that they went into, but I did get an email back from the production manager saying that things are in the queue. We're still waiting specifically for things like factory quotes so that we can start deciding what those numbers are and get that funding goal narrowed down. But all of those things are in front of them. They're working on it. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get them in front of us. And I think over December, it was extremely chaotic for almost everybody, and nobody had a chance to really get their hands on some of the external projects that they're working on. So I still, unfortunately, I can't say how much more time there will be before we have those things narrowed down, but I don't think it's going to take too much longer.
Okay.
Those hands are creepy.
Those hands are so cool.
That is the most disgusting. This was going to be the character I was most excited about, but those hands,
Little barnacles on the bottom. Oh, that's cool.
It is cool,
That's
but
my
it's
favorite detail about
You know those frogs that like have the babies like burrow into the back and then they hatch out?
come on.
We
man.
like the term horrifyingly beautiful. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
we're going with
precisely.
that.
It is horrifyingly beautiful.
One of the things about Charybdis that
Apple
we wanted
horrifying.
to, at least as far as the visual contrast goes, obviously everybody here is highly rooted in that pirate aesthetic, despite the fact that he's clearly been living under the ocean for forever. And we wanted to dial in some of that animalistic nature when it came to him and give him some physical qualities that would give him an edge next to, a normal pirate. So as a squid type character, he can of course blend into his environment. He's supposed to be able to camouflage and turn invisible, and then of course he's got those suction cups all over his body so he can stick to anything. He's very, despite how much he's got on him, very physically agile. He's thousands of years old, but Bruce Lee would have a little bit of a time against him. He probably still wouldn't win, but I think the suction cups would freak him out enough to distract him.
But does he have electrical powers?
Yep, you're right on there, Terrence.
Because if he did, he could be like the Miles Morales of his world. He could go camouflage, stick to things. You know what I mean? He's just
Absolutely.
missing the shocking abilities.
Absolutely. No, we got a little bit of that going on too, because some of the inspiration when it came to his, he's not supposed to be any one creature at a time, aside from, of course, the heightened squid aesthetic. But the cuttlefish was a little bit of our thoughts going towards. There we go. So that's Edge Comics' Kickstarter page, and I can't remember. I think I need to update that link because something about that situation changed. And they also updated their website too, so I can probably update that a little bit later and get their actual website on there, because I can't remember what happened with the Kickstarter. That was live in December and they had to reroute. I don't remember what happened, but I forgot that is where that photo led.
Well, we've got a question from the chat. I know you're working on the Kickstarter for these three, but William is asking, are you planning on crew/builder figures in the future?
That's something that has been brought to my attention that I need to just add to that Q&A section when it comes to, I think right down the bottom there's a little tab that says about. So many of those questions that we get all the time are right in there, and this is one of them that I need to add. But crew builders are absolutely, again, we're still working on, because we're not only just getting this toy line off the ground, we're getting a company and hopefully what's eventually going to grow to a livelihood off the ground. So there's a ton of moving parts to this thing and a lot riding on it. So part of that balance is not shooting too high, too far out the gate. But when it comes to things like Wave 2, despite the fact that it feels a little premature to be thinking about things like that, we are, and have for many, many months. And crew builders are, so long as things go according to plan and this generates the revenue to do that, that is what we would like to attack very next time, because some of the characters we have planned in the backlogs of these are very specific and are going to require some special tooling, which is a little bit more expensive than your basic pirate. And that's something that people are going to be very, very interested and excited to do with these things. Is hopefully the whole tagline is build your crew, so we want folks to be able to do that. So with if everything goes as we hope. That's the very next thing we'd like to do. And of course, we would like to have a crew builder for each faction so that people can start building out those ranks as much as possible. And we already have quite a few thoughts around how we'd go about achieving that. But these 3 captains are paving the way forward because we wanted to give folks the best and clearest taste of this world in a complete, communicative fashion. So each of these guys revolve around each other within the storyline. There's very few points in the story where they aren't directly affecting one another. They're of course representing the best of what each of those factions has to offer, and you're getting the leader of each faction. So you have a strong play pattern right out the gate, and then the very next step is to keep going forward on that. Because at least my train of thought when I came to narrowing down, because we submitted probably well over 50 product prepositions to them and had to narrow it down based on that budget. So the amount of characters that are part of this world, we had to get very cutthroat with who we were going to lead with. And these guys are just the biggest and the baddest as far as those 3 factions went. But we were most excited for those 3 simply because of how much you were getting in one package. I'm not going to speak into this not taking off the way I've had so many fans express that they see it doing. But even if it didn't, you'd have 3 really key characters that go together forever. We didn't want that collection to feel incomplete right out the gate. We wanted to lead with something that could only grow from there.
I love how we're talking about crew and Curtis goes right to like your wedding photo.
He said on the about, I clicked the about, and that's what it went to.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny because he was lingering on the photo and it only said underneath it first day that prototypes were in hand. And I was trying to figure out because it took a while to scroll up to see the prototype. I'm like, what is that? What happened on that day? So,
that was the day we got them all in the mail, and we spilled all the parts out on the table and rolled for about 3 hours, and then I had to go to work, and I was depressed for a while, and it was a whole thing. It was a fun day though. These
is that the Diamond Select Jack Sparrow?
Yes, that's exactly what that is.
Okay, I had that one. So knowing what that felt like in hand, I can imagine what your figures are going to be like in hand. And that was a pretty cool figure. And based on the pictures we've seen of your figures, I think it's going to blow those out of the water. Pun heavily intended.
I was going to say,
I love the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Phrased it exactly like that because I purchased that figure, I think, right on top of there's another pun. Diving into this whole process. And I wanted to get a good gauge for some of the, the attempts that other companies have already made. Fairly logical train of thought, but getting that Jack Sparrow in hand, that's one of the better Diamond Selects that I've ever handled. But having him right next to Alistair specifically, and then comparing all the different engineering that went into each figure itself, they feel wholly different. When it comes to just the articulation breakdown, that these are obviously the paint masters do not possess that, but they are still sculpted and engineered with all of the points where you'd be able to see where they articulate. And he kicks Jack's butt, I'm afraid. Jack comparatively can't really do much with his legs. I'm not quite sure what the thought process was when it came to the sculpting there down by the pelvis, but he's a really cool looking figure, but he has trouble moving in certain spots. And so these are really, really different from that, and they feel a lot more substantial than that particular figure does.
Nice.
We had folks obviously aching for Legion's comparison, so we put them next to as many size classes as we could get.
I feel like they'll fit great on the shelf alongside of them. Like if you if people want to put them with their Dawn's Discovery characters, to flesh out other crews, or work your legions into the Tide Realms characters world. I'm
really curious to see what people come up with as far as intermingling while they're waiting to supplement. Because obviously we're ways out from folks having a majority of Dawns of Discovery in hand too. I can't even begin to speculate where these two product lines are going to converge. I can't say when one is going to come in hand as far as relation to each other, but it's going to be really cool seeing what people do with everything. This photo that we're looking at right here is actually really, really fun because it took about 2 seconds to photograph. But when I got everything lined up and those kind of uneven baseboards that we glued together for that pirate ship diorama, which was like 8 or 9 feet long, the contrast of the brown next to those weapons just looked really cool to me. I like this photo despite the fact that there's not much going on with it. It communicates quite a bit. I was very happy with it.
Yeah, this photo is great. I think the unique look of these swords is really cool. I really like the I'm not going to say the name right, but the one on the far right,
No, with all the barnacles on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the look of that one specifically.
Charybdis's sword is particularly interesting because you find something new every time you look at it, and that's pretty much Charybdis's whole aesthetic on nature. I mean, you know, we commissioned the sculpts and, you know, talked about all the details we wanted ourselves, but even when I'm still to this day holding the prototype, I'm noticing not new things, but there's so much to look at that I forget, oh, that's right, there's that really cool thing way in there. And these guys, or at least these swords here, the first two are fairly symmetrical, but Charybdis's is different on both sides.
Yeah. I feel like I'd get some sort of infection just picking that thing up.
I like the little icons.
Make sure you have your tetanus shot ready.
Absolutely. The faction logos were something that we wanted to be very, very intentional about as far as what they were communicating and why. And they are the exact same symbols that are on people's neck. And they have story related reasons for why they look the way they do. Alistair's in particular has some really, really, really interesting lore behind what that logo means. And we haven't even spelled that out all the way for people. It's very much teased in amongst all the story content.
Very nice. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I can't help it every
Those
time I
would
look
make
at
like
Paris.
nice little like medallions or coins or something.
Right. We wanted, as far as you know, that's not the visual depiction of the currency of the Tide Realms, but we wanted something like that. You think of pirates and you're going to think of gold coins and things like that. Obviously, Death Moids is just a little bit different by nature, but that was what we were trying to communicate. I'm glad that's coming through. What were you trying to say, Terrence?
The first time I looked at the Deathmoid logo or symbol, I thought it was a face palm.
That's how.
What?
So yeah, that's pretty great because that's how Deathmoid feels every time someone calls him Death Mold, which has happened numerous times. I'm sure Mike is shrinking in his seat right now. We love you, Mike. No, Death Mold has been a hilarious. It's pretty much now it's just an inside joke within the entire fan base of how limited it is at this point, because I can't figure out. I think it's just that people are reading very, very quickly, and because there's a lot of information to take in at once. But you know, because I've analyzed it.
Some people don't read it all.
Right. Some people don't read it all, and I've analyzed it meticulously, thinking, you know, what did I do wrong with the logo? And there's nothing there because every letter is all caps. So I don't know where we get mold, but he's been moldy for a long time until I had a chance to correct everybody. So
I think it's because you used all caps, but everything besides the first letter is smaller. Yeah. So the I could look like a lowercase L.
Yeah,
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing too is, like, you know, you have a character that's decayed and you know, you can get the idea of mold. You know what I mean?
I think you're reading too much into it, Terrence.
Yeah,
that's because I read.
Exactly.
I thought it was funny because every time somebody said it, I was like, I hope that's not what it looks like. Because does Death Mold sound correct? Like, why would I call him Death Mold? They went with it.
The fans have decided.
Hilarious.
I don't know. I grew up going to comic stores where people argued over the pronunciation of Magneto or Magneto. So I mean,
Right.
or Thanos and Thanos and Dark Seed and Dark Side. So I mean, it happens.
It's all part and parcel of the whole genie gig.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I knew one person even called Rogue Rouge. So I mean, it happens.
Oh, all right. I mean,
I knew that would hurt Jesse. I had to put that out there.
I mean that's
This is all
a
of
completely
course.
different spelling.
Hey,
Yep,
Terrence's
it
name
is.
is in here.
I think we know that guy. No, this is all
Yeah.
very much thanks to Terrence. So I'm still working on updating the website currently to get the rest of the conventions that Terrence has informed me that we'll have some measure of presence at. And I'm extremely, happy because that's not something we even thought we'd be able to touch. I think if you click on that photo, it will take you actually directly to the IshCon website. At least it should. Yeah, there we go. It's just I can't thank you two enough for everything.
I
that
feel
you've
like
done.
Ish is on board. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yep.
definitely getting the sense that he's going with Year of the Pirate, and he's fully down with this.
I think so. I think he's into this idea.
Did the same artist do this that did the other drawings?
No, I don't know where this particular art came from because I just grabbed
Oh.
that from the website that was there first. So I'm not sure where that one came from.
Yeah, Ish seems to have initiated this. So I'm
Hold
not sure
on.
where that
I
came
gotta.
from.
Eric Miller's got a comment here. When I worked at Toys R Us, I had a customer that called Psylocke Fizz-a-lock.
Oh my gosh. That's
Well,
rough.
All right.
That's the worst one I've heard yet.
I think that's something
Wow.
you'd find in the hairspray aisle.
Right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
I would have to punch him.
You'd have to find him.
That made the back of my
Well, here
eyes
pretty
hurt.
soon.
Yeah, we're really excited about the cons. We locked down our third. Well, we'll be at 4 cons that I can say that we'll definitely be promoting Tide Realm, and then we will also have. We're going to ZoloCon first. That won't be a booth, but we'll be there with some handouts to support the line, getting the word out there. And then we have 3 cons that we've already locked in place where we will have our booth there, and that will be showcasing Tide Realm, which we're going to start off with Toylanta in March, and then we will be at in February, right? End of February?
Mhm.
Yeah, end of February March. We're at ZoloCon February. We're at Toylanta in March, thanks to Brett Barton. And then we will be at ToyCon New Jersey, Joe Viteri. And then we will be at IshCon in the end of May. So, and hopefully over those months, we'll find out more about what's going on with the Kickstarter and hopefully be meeting people who are jumping on board or who are being introduced to it for the first time. So it's going to be great.
William's asking if you'll be at the most important show of the year and the coolest show where all of the cool people go to, MesquiCon.
Well, I would love to go there, but 2 things. It's landlocked, so it's kind of hard for me to sail in there unless I take some path through the Great Lakes. But
There's
it's
a
also
lake.
a week. It's like a week before Toylanta, I think, right?
Mhm.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you'd rather go to an inferior con than MesquiCon. Got it.
It sounds like it.
Have you let Brett Barton know that you're saying that? I just want to make sure.
Hey, he's got another one. I'll go to the second one.
I'm just glad to see you're getting out
Joe
to more
Lanta.
cons yourself. You know.
Yes.
I'll go to Joe Lanta, but MesquiCon's definitely the best con of the year.
We've
No,
had.
I would love to go to MesquiCon. We wanted to go last
I'll be there,
year.
William.
Yeah, we wanted to go.
Terrence is gonna leave you alone, William, but I'll be there. I'll be there.
I'm sorry,
We've
William.
had a couple really cool folks reach out and ask if we're going to be on conventions recently, and I'm loath every time, not loath to talk to them, but loath to give them the answer. I'm like, you're gonna have to talk to my marketing director, Terrence, because I have absolutely no ability to help you out, no matter how bad I wish I was there.
Now this is committed. This
Oh.
is going to both. There,
I'm a big supporter of Legion's ladies. It's not nice for them to kick me while I'm down. You know what I mean? Like,
Rude.
No,
That's right.
no,
Kick him
I,
while he's up.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see Tanya there. I know Tanya's also been very supportive of Tide Realm, so I'm sure she will. And we even joked about maybe even having our table next to each other at IshCon. So I don't know if that'll happen or not, but Gina's some of Gina's work was actually on Tanya's table last year. So we always love teaming up with her as often as possible.
Eric will be at both.
That's awesome too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying.
When he says both, is he talking about Toylantor or MuskyCon or IshCon or?
We're gonna be at MuskyCon and ToyCon or Toylanta.
We gotta reevaluate where some of these folks live and how, like, for Terrence to come to MuskyCon is not like you or Eric going to MuskyCon.
It's no different than Eric going down to Toylanta.
Sure, it is.
No.
For me, it's just really, I just can't
anywhere,
get that kind of time off work. But we have a very full con schedule beyond just these ones as well. We will, be looking at where we are with the Kickstarter, and because we'll be at other shows already. I mean, I haven't talked to Brian yet about having a booth at CarverCon, but that's totally possible as well. We will be at CarverCon. We will be at. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's exactly who reached out to me a couple days ago, wondering anything about that, and I had no opportunity yet to bring it up to you. So that's something that we can talk about if that's at all possible.
So
I couldn't remember
in terms of Brian and
I
I have already talked a little bit at Legion's Con about something we might work on together for CarverCon, but that wouldn't be impacted one way or the other. But we now with Creative Realms, we might bring a table there too, depending on if the Kickstarter runs further into the season or the year.
Right.
But I mean, again, we're very committed to seeing indie toy companies get, the attention that they deserve. So, I mean, that's why we want to help out Quaid and Abigail. And, in addition to that, we'll be rolling out some announcements of a very curated group of folks that we will also have on the table to help support the line. And so we're hoping to roll that out, over the next few weeks, probably with at least one announcement, maybe tomorrow. So.
FYI, just a little housekeeping. I did just put Eric Miller in a timeout, so we won't see his comments for a little bit. So.
I don't know if that's allowed because Eric painted 2 of these prototypes. So that's
but did he use folk art?
He spelled my name wrong, and I'm not even bothered because he agreed with me. So
that's all. That's all people have to do is agree with you, and then they can spell your name wrong. Okay.
No, they can spell it wrong anyway. It just makes me feel better if they're at least saying something nice when they spell it wrong.
Well, Twizzler spelled CarverCon wrong, so
our intention is
CarValCon.
I'm going to CarValCon.
Not Leviosa.
I really want to
carve
CarVal.
They don't pronounce their R's. He just writes his R's. It's good. It's fine.
I think Giant delivers.
To have the Kickstarter timed with one of those conventions at least, and I'm not gonna throw out which one we're eyeing. We are eyeing one specifically right now, but by the time we get that information as far as narrowing down what those numbers are, people are going to know within hopefully a few days of us having it, so that we can get people on that landing page as quick as possible, because that is not out yet. We're not able to launch the Kickstarter landing page without having all that information in place.
My guess is going to be the one that has a big pirate on the front page of their convention. But
yeah, that seems like a good. Yeah, seems like a
I could be wrong
right there. Yeah.
I have a question for you. It might be on the Q&A section. I don't know. I didn't look, because if I pull up another page, it's going to throw me out. And Curtis already made me open 2 other pages earlier.
It'll fight you.
I know you can't commit to any set number at this point. Do you have a ballpark price range you're hoping to put these at? Or is that still something you can't even put a question mark on that until you get more information from the factory?
It's really, really difficult to. There's absolutely nothing that I can say that anyone should hold on to. You should not hear a number from my mouth and have that in your head when it comes to what the trajectory of these is, because I just don't know. I know what I want, and what I want is for it to be comparable to everything else that's already on the market right now. But that is going to come down to.
Off-center hand has a question. I'm sorry.
Curtis does have a question.
Quaid, if this, I'm looking at this this pirate toy line here with like 3 figures. If that were to come out, what would you be willing to pay for these figures?
That's a
you don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer that question.
Is that entrapment?
It's like, if you've learned anything from Jeremy Gerard, anything he says will be extrapolated and broken
I'm
down.
just saying,
and
as a toy collector, like we're all toy collectors, like what you know.
sure,
Right.
but you
Like
can't ask them
Hollywood's here.
making the toy to throw a number out
Yeah,
at what
what
he just said.
what would you be willing to pay?
There's a
for
lot
that?
of hands, Curtis. You gotta add all those hands in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. No, we're not interested in these things crossing a threshold that's completely unreasonable now when it comes to how they're being launched, and of course what it's going to take to get these 3 physical products made from a company that's just starting out. Those numbers are being used in a different way than they are in a normal, production release. So it's my hope that I can get this as close to my intention, because I have no interest in these being unaffordable. Otherwise, I won't sell any. So it's a little counterintuitive there.
What I
Gotcha.
think, though, one of the things, I mean, me just as an outsider looking at this, is I think that what's great about it is there's a lot of Kickstarters that have come and gone in the last few years that have had 15 figures, 20 figures, and I mean, I've supported some of those because I really thought, like, for instance, I supported Legendary, which was, I think, 18 figures.
Yep.
AWOC, I think, was almost 15 or 20 figures.
Yep.
I mean, and they're great, but when it comes time to pay for them, it's a big hit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I like so far with this is that, Quaid's giving you 3 amazing looking figures for what I feel is very budget conscious. Without knowing the number yet, I still think 3 is an easy access point for a lot of figures, for a lot of people to get on board. To answer the question earlier about crew builders, I mean, again, we know so many customizers in this that if they had multiples of some of those figures, I think you could easily build out some crew members just by using those figures that are there. And making some simple head swaps,
Absolutely.
or whatnot.
And all those details, all of those, like the movement in the coat and all of that, and the hair and the beard, that's going to be fun to paint.
For sure.
That's
I mean-
because I had to stand there. I think one of the best conversations I had at Legion's Con was, I don't know, it's kind of like, it was an interesting conversation because it's somebody else who gave birth to something you relate to as your child, but speaking with Eric Miller about the process of painting them was just a joy, because it's surreal to have them in your hands, but it's even more surreal to have the person that put all the love and the craftsmanship into them looking the way they do. And I know he had a blast on those. It was really fun seeing clearly how connected he was to them as an individual. We were 2 very, I'm not large, but 2 old kids talking about it. So it was just so much fun. I just loved it. And that paint job was something that Deathmoid specifically folks are really, really excited about when it comes to, because these guys are supposed to look dirty and weathered and worn. One of my favorite, a lot of people have different opinions on it, but one of my favorite little dives into a toy line was, I use Transformers all the time. I'm a bootlicker when it comes to that line, but 2018-19 they started the Siege subline, and they've just kind of gone from there. And I absolutely loved the war-torn, battle-weathered detailing that they gave almost every figure in that line. And that was something that we wanted to communicate with these characters, is an aged, weathered, worn feel, so that each character looks lived in and like they've been around for, in Charybdis's case, it's thousands of years. When it's Deathmoid, he's ageless. And then Alistair is supposed to be in his late 40s and has been a captain for a long, long time. So we wanted these sculpts to reflect their history, and they did that spectacularly.
I mean, there's so much sculptural detail here that these look like they would be just a blast to paint. Especially for dry brushing and stuff, there's just so much to catch on the paint with. Just looks like it'd be a ton of fun.
Those vials of bioluminescent poison that we've got going on in Charybdis here, they're actually a very bright, they're very saturated green than even is coming across on the camera there. And then on the other side, he's got those, let's see, what they refer to it in the Lego Batman movie, classic bomb type bombs on the side. We just wanted to load him out with, obviously we only had so many tools at our disposal to get accessories on there, but we wanted folks to feel layered underneath. And so each of those coats, there's so much to the belts around them, and so each little piece and object that's on the belts is story relevant. They all have things that they do. The compass that's on Charybdis is very, very, very story relevant.
Yeah, this is just, I mean, it just looks fun.
Yep.
It's going to be fun to customize.
They're
Like
just
all
fun
those
to look
coral
at.
and barnacles, just look at the, it'd be like a ton of fun to do different wild colors on
Yeah,
and
that
stuff
was
like
exactly my thought on it.
Even the leather, like all the
Yep.
sculptural detail on the leather.
Imagine what Patrick Boyle or like J-Lo Fidelity is going to do with these.
But like, look at go back the belt buckle. Go back. Just like a split second. That belt buckle
love
is so
this.
cool. It's like two dolphins or two sharks. That is
Two sharks,
so
yeah.
cool. Yeah. Like all
Sharks
the little
are-
details.
Huge
Like all
part
these,
of Charybdis's
like,
motif,
parts of the
actually.
coat and-
Mm-hmm.
There's on that bandolier, I believe it's referred to, that's going across his chest. That there you go, right there, that attaches his sword. There's a little shark jaw that looks like a belt buckle, and he actually has shark teeth as daggers on his
Yeah.
bandolier there.
Like every time I watch one of the videos or see one of the photos, I see something I missed before. There's so many details in these figures. Oh, yeah.
The little section that's marked as the I've already lost it.
I love the shirts.
There's a page directly for the prototype photos, and those give sometimes an even better look than these videos do because of this, dramatic lighting. And so you can get a full turnaround of what's on those belts in the prototype section up at the top there, that home page.
Quaid, I don't know if we've talked about this, but will the jackets be removable or are they like part of the torso?
The jackets are removable.
Okay.
In connection with that, are the sleeves then match the jacket and the shirt? So if you take the jacket off, it still looks like a unified look.
So that's something. There you go. Curtis found it. Those are probably your best photos you're going to have. That's something that we are still talking about because we very much wanted within the budget to be able to have both options. And in order to give folks the full loadout that we wanted just on that base level, that was as far as we were able to go. So somebody like Deathmoid, you don't notice it too much when you take his coat off and just if you wanted to use him without it. That coloration is pretty similar to what's already underneath him. But somebody like Charybdis and Alistair, their shirts are colored quite differently. So in order for us to achieve that, it's either going to require a stretch goal that I cannot confirm whether we're actually going to be able to do or not. We would love to have extra arms with them in order to achieve that. If not, if that doesn't end up working out with this campaign, that's something that we want to try to get in people's hands later.
Well,
Okay.
just a thought too. I don't know if the conversations ever happened with the Horsemen at this point, but I mean, I don't know if there's the possibility for, if the campaign is successful, things like stretch goals in like a backer kit or something like that to add more, sculpting or something like that for either a heads pack or additional arms or something like that. I mean, I've seen that with other Kickstarters. I haven't seen it with this. And obviously that's a conversation you'd have to have with the Horsemen.
Yeah, that's something that we're going to need a little bit more information and a little bit more advisement on when it comes to achieving. But if that was, there's absolutely no stage when it comes to this Kickstarter where every dollar that goes into this campaign is going right back into these toys. I mean, we're not at a stage where it makes any sense to have some, walk away profit here that pays for like my groceries. That's not where this is going. So if there's any amount of wiggle room when it comes to how successful these things are, either we'll already be that point, we'll have answered those questions and we'll be working on something like that. Or with the advantages that I've been informed that come with backer kit, if that's something we can do, we want to, and we want to make sure that these are as fully complete as possible. And that's something that just didn't make that baseline. And we want to find some way to do it. So even if we can make it happen after the fact, we will look into it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, somebody had mentioned heads packs earlier. I think that would be awesome, like some additional heads, because you know, you could take these bodies, and if you have different heads, you could definitely build these out and have multiple of the same, you know, kind of build with just a different head on it.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Heads are interesting as they're, at least CB informed me, the most expensive part of the tooling, just because of how expressive and detailed that is. And it's, of course, the most important component. It's what makes that figure what it is. So a heads pack specifically is
Mhm.
that would be quite an investment on our end. And that's, of course, something that we want. And that would be something that we would look at pretty closely after extra arms, because that would also serve that same role of giving people the option to undress these guys and put them in different ways. Because those, the belts that everybody has on them, they're unique to each character. But they communicate quite a bit individually, and those painted different ways and swapped between characters. There's a lot of options that we have here just within the tooling that we've already established, and our hope and our intention is to use that to its fullest capacity. But we want to see more from these guys. This Captain Buck is what it is, and we want to make sure that other people have unique tooling for that type of character as well.
Well, I mean, you know, customizers are a unique breed of people,
Yeah.
because they will buy multiple of the same character and then, you know, customize them and put different heads and stuff. So another thing would be, you know, if you know, there's some 3D printers out there, some 3D sculptors that make, you know, third party parts for these.
Oh yeah.
And if people know, like, hey, there's going to be some, you know, pirate heads and this and that out there, they would be probably more likely to buy more of these bodies, just knowing that they're going to have some options to customize them as well. So
Absolutely.
so
We
that'd be
wanted
cool.
that the cutlass that Alistair comes with specific, because obviously they each have a very unique weapon that's communicating their character in the form of the sword that's on their back. But Alistair specifically, he's actually the only one with 3 accessories, because we wanted to make sure to have a cutlass that people could utilize that was not character specific. So it's very elegant and very cool to look at, but it's not something that's screaming Alistair like his sword is.
Yeah. Very cool.
He's the pirate action figure that I have wanted since I was little. Despite, you know, obviously the monster guys get a lot of the attention because they are just the most visually stunning on a base level. But Alistair has just as much communicative value when it comes to his sculpt, because we took so many intentions, the amount of concept art that we cycled through, just deciding what our lead pirate was supposed to look like. There was a plethora. He was actually the hardest to decide upon, simply because there's so many options that you could choose to make a cool looking pirate. We didn't want a repeat of Jack Sparrow. We didn't want to riff on really anybody that we already know. And one of the things that we specifically decided for his character, even though there's some cross compatibility that meets that need within the line, is that we did not want this captain specifically to wear a hat, just because it was an interesting way of approaching a captain. Usually you're going to expect, you know, one of the big things that you're going to have on Blackbeard or Barbossa, you have this very flamboyant communicative piece on the top. So that tricorn that's on Deathmoid is actually compatible with Alistair.
Okay.
And we have some ideas of how we're going to implement that later. So he can have a hat if you want, but we thought it would be an interesting way of giving people the option to dress him down to be a crew member if you wanted, or have him be this more, his whole character is very melancholic. This pirate is not like anybody else you've run into, because obviously you have somebody like Captain Barbossa, who is this pirate through and through. He meets every trope that you expect with a character like that, and then elevates it to about 100. And then you have Jack Sparrow, he's Jack Sparrow. There's nobody else like that as well. But meeting the things you expect with a pirate character, we wanted to stay true to those things while communicating that this is a good guy. That's very difficult with a pirate. And so he has this internal conflict within him that steers him in a direction that's very counterintuitive to what piracy is, despite the fact that he's maintaining that image, and it's this world of the gods and the tide realm that meets him where he's at, that draws him to this greater purpose, despite his resolute nature, that piracy is essentially not what he's doomed to, but all he's worth. And then, of course, we have our villains that are meeting all of those cliches, all the things that you like to see with a dread pirate captain. I love writing Alistair. I don't get tired of generating content for him, because when I sit down to communicate that character, he just flows out of me. There's a very big piece of him. So that human character, despite the fact that he's, you know, singular and you can look at him and almost gloss over him by comparison of how detailed these villain guys are, he's extremely special, and there's things to him that no other pirate character I've ever seen possesses. And I can't wait for people to get a hold of him specifically, because I think he's going to meet all of those base pirate needs that people have been asking for.
So is you know, kind of pirates and stuff something that even as a kid that you were into?
Absolutely. I mean, so you get what's very much informed kind of the structure of this world is you went to the toy aisles in the 80s and you look through the Lego section, you get those 4 heavy hitters of town, space, I guess they call it city now, space, castle, and pirates. And it's just those 4 themes, especially those 3 fantasy ones, just really, to me, encapsulated what you wanted that sandbox play to be. And so far as I can see, the toy industry has very much followed that trend, which is why it's strange to me that there's this gap within that pirate genre, because I don't see it as an obscure one. I think it's just one that companies haven't applied that level of world building to yet. But that one specifically, if I was going to go into the toy aisle, there's where I can answer that question. And I was going to pick one, you know, I got $40 to my name and I'm in the Lego aisle, I'm probably going to pick that pirate one. And that came from, a lot of that was introduced to me very, very young. One of my favorite things was actually the Mega Bloks pirate line, and those were extremely high fantasy. I know they were very much informed by the Caribbean films, to so much to the extent that I'm pretty sure they adapted them later. I didn't have any of them, but those little characters in there were so very unique to something that you saw within the Lego line. And the world building within the Mega Bloks theme very much kind of transcended. I played with that more than I did things like Star Wars. It captured so much of my attention that years later down the road as a teenager, when I got into filmmaking that I've done for so long, one of the very first things that I ever said to myself that I would do, this is pipe dreams here, of course, if I was going to go do a Hollywood level film, was I would attack the pirate theme. And I'm not sure why that specifically was what stuck out, because it was in total contrast to what I was doing at the time as a teenager. So flash forward to this, and I'm actually realizing what that thought was many, many years ago. I just always had it in my head that it's strange to me that Disney seemed to take that genre and build it up to it being, you know, pretty much the standard of what people think of. And no one's touched on it since. It's almost like, I don't know if folks are afraid, but nobody's tried to tell a pirate story ever since. And I think that's odd.
I think it's because of Amber Heard.
Maybe.
I think she single-handedly sunk the battleship.
Probably
Terrence,
sunk the whole
Terrence, that
battleship.
was a shitty joke.
Yep.
Stepped on
I
a
just thought it
bee.
was interesting that genre, at least within the film industry, folks kind of act like it's tapped out, and I don't agree. I think there's lots of landscape there, and so we're very deliberately trying to tell something that's very, very different from that world. There's so many cool things within that Pirates of the Caribbean genre that people have latched onto for a reason. It's compelling for a reason, and we want to meet those things that are already entrancing to people, while communicating something that actually only toys can do. So I've just been in love with creating this world, because it's difficult. You know, the creative process is, no matter what anybody says, it's work. There are days where we are just Yeah. There are days where we're just dog tired with how much we've put into it, but this thing writes itself, and it's come alive practically overnight. And there's a reason that we're at the stage where we are at seemingly as quickly as we are, because we've only had
As you wish.
the prototypes in hand since August. We did Legions Con, which was pretty much the solidifying public presence of the prototypes themselves, and it's taken off much quicker than I thought it would. And I think it's based on the strength of the idea, and that's not something that I can take credit. I can, I suppose, but I don't like to, because it belongs just as much to my wife and just as much to all the other creative input that has come into the realm ever since then. And we have a very small number of people behind us that are doing some really good work. And I think I sent Jesse a little while ago, there was some art from our good buddy Dimitri. His account on Instagram is, oh gosh, Killzone 619, I think is what it's called. And he's been working for the last several months on our official illustrations for the gods of the Tide Realm. And they are what that whole story circulates around. They are the reason that the world has come into being. They are the reason that the three factions have the attributes that they do. Everything trickles down from those three characters. And they're extremely ambitious when it comes to just what they are. There's something in product form that would be, if this line flew, it would be many years down the road. But they are so...
I send those to Curtis to pull up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't believe, I'm so sorry I missed those. Like, I think I saw them, but with everything I've been doing this week, I don't think I realized what I was looking at. So Curtis,
no, it's all right. Those are something that nobody has seen yet, and it was my intention to see if we had the time to reveal them here. I didn't even check what time it was, but the conversation has trickled down into it pretty naturally. But he's worked for several months. So we had a live stream, I think, very shortly after when we first revealed them online. And he and his buddy John reached out, and they wanted to talk to us about it. And so we had fun with them. And then a couple months came down the road, and we were very much working with a stumbling block because we have the limited assets that we do. Yep, there's Dimitri. And we just have a limited art department, i.e. me and my wife. And so we're heading up all the marketing stuff by ourselves, and we just do not have time to crank out the art that we would like to. And so Dimitri has done an absolutely fabulous job bringing the three gods of the Tide Realm to life in his style, which is very, I just absolutely love how we've been able to involve the number of artists that we have that have such a unique communication of art styles to each other. And so Noah's stands out for the reasons that it does. Dimitri's here stands out for the reasons that it does. And I love the fact that there's so many elements coming together for a pirate line that is naturally going to feel, hodgepodge is the wrong word, but pirates are very chaotic. And I just like that the art style is following a similar line of thought when it comes to the trend of the line. So what we've got here going for, let's see, I don't know if it's going to be who's left or who's right, but on my side here, I'll start with Starazoa, the god of the sea, and he's who links back to Charybdis specifically. A lot of his origins tie into that character. And interestingly enough, despite Charybdis's totalitarian, send the islands back to the bottom of the depths, Starazoa is kind of that. He is the good guy of the three. He is very much the what's the word? He's the father of the three here, despite the fact that they are brothers. And he's another character who has obviously a limited role because it's mostly in flashbacks, but he's very depthful, and we're very excited to dive into how that relationship plays out within universe, because Starazoa is everywhere. His influence is more than just Charybdis. It's more than just shaping the tides. He has an influence over characters that, by all appearances, you'd think he would not relate to. And so he's very depthful, despite the fact that these three are the reason the world has come up and to, by result of their battle, come back down. Osius there is pretty obvious. Obviously, he is the god of death, and he ties right back into Deathmoid. And yet not for the reasons that I think people are going to jump to. Deathmoid is, without spelling it out, because it's going to be really, really cool for people to realize once we spell it out. There's a juxtaposition between Deathmoid's relationship with Osius and Osius's relationship with Deathmoid. Neither of them are relating to each other in the way that each other thinks. And so Dimitri had an absolutely fantastic idea when it came to just the world building of Osius here, because he has this pillar underneath his form that is obviously bringing that's his position and his role within the Tide Realms, or it was before their fall, is bringing those souls into what is referred to as the Epirus realm, the realm of the gods. He just has such wonderful detail in there, these little sailors coming through to this giant blade and his power of death that he's sitting on. I love the lighting that he just couldn't have done a better job. And I'm really, really proud of him. I'm proud of the fact that we have him on our team, because he's doing such a great job of translating what is fairly rudimentary concept art on our part, with as many resources as we have. And then when it comes to Hurricane is so much fun, because he is that personification of the god of the pirates. Now, how he relates to the human faction is interesting, because of course he may be the kind of that icon of the good guy team. Hurricane is a pirate through and through, and he does not pick sides. He is on his own side. And so getting this god's attention within the universe of Tide Realm is something that's very coveted. And so Hurricane's relationship with Alistair is especially conflicting, because almost everything about Hurricane would repulse Alistair by nature, but he feels drawn to him nonetheless. And he's really cool simply because his entire form is supposed to be made out of, a wrecked shipyard. So there are pieces of ships all over him. His bandolier there has these giant barrels of explosives on him. His peg leg is the front part of a ship. Obviously, this is all concept art. This is Dimitri interpreting our ideas of where we want these characters to go. And I just could not be more thrilled with the result, because I notice something new every time I look at them. And they're almost a one-for-one translation of what we were going for with the
What's
initial.
the footwear situation with these characters, though?
Good question.
Yep, that's a good question. So Starzoa here, he's got Curtis's least favorite thing here with his.
He's got toes out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's in the water, so actually they're all in the water, so feet out are okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on.
They
Hurricane,
look kind of aquatic feet. I'm okay with aquatic feet being out,
Okay.
toes out. Yeah.
At least we made sense out of that one. Osius, he has legs. He does. This illustration is giving a little bit more dramatic feel of his presence over, his dominion within his realm. But he has legs actually within our concept art are kind of similar to Starzoa's, well, more skeletal, obviously. And then Hurricane, he's most creative because he's got boots made out of ship parts, and the coat that's being suggested is on his form is actually, a torn sail. And like I said, his peg leg is made out of the front. Oh man, I had the word. You'd think the pirate guy would know what that is. The figurehead on the front of a ship.
The mast? No, that's not it.
No,
Oh, it's the
Starboard.
gosh. I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just hypothetically, I mean, obviously these would be down the way if they were to happen. Do you envision these as being a normal scale 1/12 figure, or do you see these being oversized to represent like them being godlike characters? Or
These are some things kind of a fun conversation. This is another example of, you take what I want this to be and don't attach any emotions to that, because who knows how it's actually going to come out. But you're having the exact same conversation with these characters as you are, say, a city former. In Transformers, you've it's kind of this incomprehensible size to what they're supposed to be. Obviously, Metroplex is a literal fortress, and so it's very, very difficult to achieve that in physical form. So if you were to attempt these guys in a similar fashion, there's just no real way you could get them. They're bordering on exactly that city size. So within the story, there are baked in explanations for why they would appear at a certain scale. Other than that, anyway, one of the things that we would like to see, obviously, because of the nature of these, you're going to want them to be bigger by nature of what they are. A figure that I really admire that came out recently as far as engineering went was that Gamerverse Venom. And he's bordering on 10 or 11 inches tall, I think. I have no way of confirming whether that would be something achievable with the components that would take to bring these guys to the visual intention that we have. But we would like for them to be sizable, not dominating on the shelf, but we would like for them to be ogre scale is close. It's close, but the intentions behind how they'd function is very, very different. We have a specific articulation scheme in mind. But that's miles down the road. These are very, very ambitious guys, and they're ones that I don't expect to be able to reuse thank you. Yes, bowsprit. That's exactly what I was looking for. And I don't expect to be able to reuse the tooling for these if they ever came into reality. So they're a lot down the road, but they're extremely important to the story, and they're something that we wanted people to have a visual to tie back to when it came to referencing some of the story content, because they're talked about so much.
I love that Hurricane being like the main hero's like god representation is so different from your classical hero god type characters. You would think, you think of like Zeus and stuff in like the Clash of the Titans movie, he's like all, the silver, the shiny armor and stuff. But I love that, like you said, he's the embodiment of the pirate, where you were saying like the pirates are like chaotic and just pulled from, every different thing. I like that he, like himself, his whole physical appearance is all the different elements of what you would think of as a pirate. And
he's
on
he's
a larger,
intended to be
really cool.
a pirate ship that stood up and took human form. And there's so many little things that Dimitri was only able to communicate what he could with the medium that we're working with here, but there's so many details when it comes to that character specifically that I'm sure the horsemen would be beside themselves to attack later. These are things that I think if people fall in love with this world the way we have creating it, folks will eat these guys up, because they're something else entirely.
Yeah, I like the silhouette on Hurricane. I just think that he looks like a beefier, kind of bulkier, blocky kind of character that you don't often see, because often you see a more muscular silhouette, like, where this guy looks more, like husky kind of, more broad-shouldered, barrel-chested kind of, and I just think that that's a more interesting look than we often get sometimes, something a little different.
We narrowed that down very deliberately. Dimitri brought that preposition to me. Again, I'm going to go back to Transformers has been an inspiration for a long, long time. And when it came to just the communication of his silhouette, we were, referencing Jetfire from Revenge of the Fallen. So he's supposed to be kind of aged and cobbled together with obviously the pieces of what he's made out of. But then Dimitri brought to my attention another character that informed it, which is, I think, in Age of Extinction, Hound. He's got a very different depiction than in G1, but he has this beer belly on him, and we didn't go quite to that dramatic character flair, but we did want him to feel weighty and heavy and very, very different than, like you're saying, Terrence, than you expect with that type of character. We did want to, within reason, subvert expectations, because the pirate tropes, I think that is maybe one of the reasons companies haven't attacked this sooner. Because I think if you glossed over the genre as is, you could feel boxed in. I just haven't. There's so many things that you expect with that genre that you can meet, and then put a twist on it that makes it very, very unique. And I think Hurricane visually, in my opinion, Dimitri should be most proud of that, because he's the character that needed the most amount of work when we submitted the initial concept art for him to go off of, and he brought so much of himself to that illustration that I think it stands out for that reason specifically. He's highly, highly unique, and is a really, really good flagship. There's another pun for what this brand is trying to communicate as a unique world in and of itself.
Nice. He's got like a pirate version of Robin Hood's Little John, you know, the bigger, stockier, you know, can stand his ground and
Curtis has been over here playing.
So people kept talking about boats, so I was like, "Oh, Detour! I'll throw him in the Detour boat."
Yeah.
So
the Detour boat's funny because he jumped right in there at Legion's Con. I think he was in the main showroom, but he came around the corner. I think we were directly behind him, and without words, just dropped the ship on the corner of the booth and said, "Just use it. It'll get you attention," and ran back before I could even thank him. I had no idea what the thought process was, but he wanted a boat on that table, and so we had one. I, of course, returned it quickly after we wrapped up on that Sunday, but
Steph's
it was
such
really,
a good
really
guy.
cool.
Awesome guy.
Always fantastic.
I love stuff.
Yeah, he definitely helped us out with Thousand Swigs as well. So I mean, and just he always has incredible stuff on his table. So
Yeah.
He did a fabulous job, but that's something that I'm most astonished by and most thankful for when it comes to this community. Obviously, we're starting small and are coming into a group of people that we're completely unknown to, and we're, by comparison, practically children. So there's some walls there when it comes to jumping into that demographic, and folks have just been so intensely welcoming and supportive and just interested for interest's sake. You know, you might have kind of a horrified fascination at the 24-year-old that's trying to get a company off the ground almost by himself, but folks have just been so welcoming. There you go. There it is.
Such a cool boat that he put together there.
Mike says no walls. There have been no walls. Everybody has been wonderful, and the amount of support that's come up out of the woodwork is
So
fabulous.
is Steph talking about herself here, or is she talking about Detour?
All of the above. It all applies. I'm just immensely grateful for everybody that wants to talk about it, everybody that has questions. That, you know, I got folks like Jesse that just messaged me just because they were curious, and it's led to a wonderful time talking about it here. Terrence, who's become this really integral partner, and Curtis, who will ask me the hard questions. You know, it's just lovely to be able to share about this with people in an environment that folks are very, very open-minded and very, very supportive. And it's something that I've not seen in any community, let alone the toy community, despite the fact that you feel like that would be an automatic. It's not always.
Well, that was half the reason why I wanted to have you on, is because like I said, I missed the earlier shows. I wanted to talk to you because like I wanted to hear the insight without watching someone else's show, because I'm lazy like that.
Well, to be fair, we've had some long streams.
Well, and I was going to say, we, you know, fingers crossed, we've had a pretty successful stream tonight. No real technical hiccups. So that's great. And Curtis, we wrapped up last year. We were doing a question at the end of the show for the guests. We're not doing that anymore. Thank God and all the saints in heaven or
We haven't
wherever.
found out what this year's thing is yet.
No. So I'm going to bring back a question we haven't brought up in a while. And I don't think it's from our show, but we've done it here before, but I'm going to bring this back unless Curtis has something related. Fridge butter or counter butter?
Ooh.
You have thrown me for a loop.
Do you keep your butter on the counter or in the fridge?
Always on the counter. I'm not interested in cold butter.
Okay, so here's the problem that I have. My kitchen, because it's so cold here right now, like I think yesterday it was like 12 degrees or something, that the kitchen gets cold overnight. And so the even though I keep the butter on the counter, it's not soft. Like it's almost as hard as if you kept it in the fridge. So I think I need to find a new winter solution for my butter.
Right. I can relate to that.
Bathroom
here.
counter.
It's generally,
Yeah.
January making me mad, but it's generally pretty cold here too.
I need like near the fireplace butter.
I use Country Crock, so right out of the fridge, it's still soft and spreadable. So
yeah, but it's also like eating melted plastic. So yeah.
Quaid was just talking about people eating his toys up. So I'm just hedging my bets.
Yeah, I think chemically it's closer to plastic than it is to butter. So,
well, if we're
I didn't say it was a good choice.
No,
I just said it's what I do.
I can't believe they called it butter.
I'm not the guy to talk about people being healthy, but that is like that's bad, Jesse. That's
pretty bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So if you like soft butter, the Brummel and Brown yogurt butter is good. Like comparatively to,
I'm getting mixed messages here, Gina. I'm getting mixed messages on screen.
Yes.
So
if you're looking for that,
she has messed me up twice this week on dairy products. I'm just putting that out there.
Being healthy.
I came home the other night to have milk and cookies after work, and I just poured the milk into a cup, and so I went to drink, and it didn't taste right. It didn't taste bad. It just tasted not like milk. And then she told me, "Oh, that's my filtered milk." And I'm like, "What do you mean filtered?" And she said, "Well, they filter it. They get rid of all the sugar and calories." And I'm like, "Then it's not milk."
It is. It is.
Butter buddy. What's a
butter? But Jesse actually touched on a different question. I was actually more curious. So tub butter or stick butter?
Stick.
All right, look. When I make mac and cheese, when I actually have to use butter, I use stick butter, but that's in the fridge. I just cut it. I put it in the microwave for like 5 seconds to get it soft, and then I put it and mix it up. I use the Country Crock for bagels. And when I make my glorious garlic toast or whatever for pasta, which is just butter with some garlic and Parmesan in the toaster oven.
Okay.
This isn't helping how starving I am right now. Good gracious.
Quaid, I tried to explain to you that getting into the toy industry and promoting a product would be tough. I didn't warn you about the intimate secrets you'd have to reveal about your dairy product choices. But
yeah,
I suppose that's maybe most persuaded. We're all wearing eye patches anyway, so can't really be blamed there.
Yeah, this is part of it. So
those industry trade secrets. Well, if you want a disgusting industry trade secret, there is biologically the same ingredient they put in yoga mats as in the dough at Pizza Hut. So
Omar would know, by the way. He would know.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Chef Omar.
There you go.
I don't know if pirates even have the luxury of having butter.
All right. So obviously we don't have a date on when the Kickstarter is going to be available for people to start contributing. Do you know when the landing page will be up for people to actually go and be like hit the notify and stuff?
That's what's so frustrating is that we literally can't even, because you submit your formatted project for Kickstarter to review before they put it up for you. And you have to make sure that you have all your facts straight before you do that. And one of those integral facts is a funding goal, which of course we can't narrow down until we've got that info from the horsemen. So that's the only reason that is not up yet. We are treating that email sign-up sheet that is on the website, should be at the very bottom, exactly like the landing page would act. So everybody that's on that is getting exclusive emails from us, getting that exact update. And so everybody that has taken the time to sign up for the email list from the website, that's been phenomenal because it's keeping everybody in that loop that the landing page would be. Our hope is within the next couple months to be able to have that ready for folks, because we want the landing page live for several months before the campaign goes live. That just seems like the wisest thing to do anyway. If things had moved faster, it would already be up, but it was beyond our control for this one. But
I'm
we are
looking at
waiting
several like upcoming action figure Kickstarter projects that have landing pages, and none of them have funding goals and stuff.
I see.
So I'm not sure.
I don't think it's necessarily uncommon to be this close, but our trajectory and our goal is that I'm getting a little bit less tight-lipped with this because it's happening one way or the other. But our goal is April or May. That's the hope. And then if the information we get within the next few months just doesn't make that a possibility, then it'll be at some point within this year. It's just we wait any longer, folks are gnawing at the bit. I think people are going to get either annoyed or confused. Like, did that really happen? Were those things real? Do I have that too? So we do not want to keep people waiting any longer than we have to. But we just, as much as I wish we had confirmed numbers yet, we don't. The minute we do, people will know as quick as possible. Probably be in.
I think the other thing to keep in mind too is like we are about to go into Chinese New Year with the factories and stuff like that. So I don't know if that'll cause any kind of delays in the flow of information. But being that I can tell you, having backed several Kickstarters over the last couple of years, one day my legendary figures will show up. One day. I don't know when. It's only been about 28 months or something like that now. But but hopefully soon,
Those are conversations that we're.
What if it's two packages and they show up on 2 different days?
Good question, Jesse.
Fantastic question. Those are things that we want very much to be. Transparency is the name of the game. Obviously, you have a teeny tiny company here that's just starting out, and you are the face of that. So our utmost responsibility here is to make sure that people know the facts going in. And if there aren't any new facts, you want to make sure that people know that there's nothing new. And the minute that there is, you make sure that they know. That's how this works. It's not like Hasbro where you can kind of just fling facts left and right, and it might happen and it might not, because there's not really there's a big old security blanket over there.
My plan is to go to conventions and just plant misinformation.
Right. That's exactly why we are talking to Terrence, just so that by the time we get to the Kickstarter, folks won't even know that it's a pirate theme. Ish will be very happy.
That's very swig of you, Terrence.
Pirates in disguise.
3 pirates in a trench coat.
Anything else that people should know before we put you backstage?
The best way to not only keep in touch with us, but keep yourselves informed about where things are at is this link down here, scrolling at the bottom of the page, that tiderealmcorsairs.com. That's where you have that email sign up list. That's where you can find our direct email to the studio itself if you have a question. And then all of our socials are always open as far as getting people information. Not necessarily when they want it, but if folks are curious, we're there to answer that question, give them a trajectory of what to expect. But that's precisely where all the communication is coming from. Everything online, that's where you'll be able to find out those launch dates and things that are coming soon. But we are still very closely eyeing late spring, and I don't have any information to contradict that that's not still possible at this point.
Awesome. Steph must have just sensed that we were talking about how awesome his boat was and how awesome he is. He comes in with a $4.99 super chat, says, "Happy Sunday, everyone." Happy Sunday to you, Steph. You are awesome.
Sunday,
Look at that cool boat. Look at that.
They say, "Speak of the angel," and he appears.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Currently says that it's sold out on detourcustoms.com. But I'm sure he'll be doing either something else soon or he'll be restocking soon. Let us know in the comments, Steph, if you have more boats coming or how people could get one so that we can share that. Terrence and Gina, anything that you would like to share before we put you guys backstage?
We're just really excited about, the upcoming con season. We've been working with a lot of great folks who I can't wait to start telling everybody else about who we are bringing to the cons with us. I just think it's going to be fantastic. We're very excited to be representing Tide Realm and getting the word out there to people about it. And I'm really hoping that when we go to these shows, there's a lot of folks out there we know who either are not following streams or not in the know about what's happening, that it may be the first time they're seeing it or hearing about it. And I think a lot of people are going to be very excited. So we can't wait to interact with them. So, of course, if you're at any of those shows, ZoloCon, Toylanta, ToyCon New Jersey, or IshCon, by all means, number one, go get your tickets for those conventions. They're great shows. You'll meet some great people. And, not me withstanding, you can definitely meet some great people and learn about some great toys.
Awesome. The next
There's
one
101
is,
reasons to be there.
what's the next one you're going to be at, Terrence?
We're going to be at ZoloCon. We'll be
Zolo.
handing out some items related to the people that we're working with, as well as making sure that Quaid's QR code is there to bring people to the Tide Realms website. But we will also be at our first booth. Will be at Toylanta.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that'll be in end of March.
Gotcha. Okay.
Outstanding.
Jesse, you going to be at ZoloCon?
Yes.
Very cool.
Yay.
Yes, I will be at ZoloCon.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I will be there emotionally.
We'll
Okay.
FaceTime you. You
All
can
right.
be there a little bit in person.
Wait for a second. You've got this strange voice coming from Terrence's phone that nobody can plant.
Hopefully, Wi-Fi is better this year than it was last year. We had some technical issues at ZoloCon last year, but
I think being the second year there, they'll probably get some of the kinks worked out now.
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably.
All right. Well, we're gonna throw you guys backstage. If you've got to run, totally understand. If not, we will be right back with you.
Thanks
So
for having
you
us on, guys.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and we
Thank
will
you so much.
see you guys in a
Absolute
few
pleasure.
minutes.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. That was fun. So yeah, I know you pulled it up, but Steph says restocking stuff in 1 week and brand new stuff coming in hot. So
Coming in
check
hot.
that
So do
out
we think
on
maybe not a boat?
detourcustoms.com. Steph's always putting together some awesome stuff, and he's awesome too. I know we were talking a lot about Kickstarter stuff tonight, and landing pages and all that kind of good stuff. Don't forget Mythic role-playing game. They've got the launch page for that up. Looks like right now they've got 1,200 people following it. So if you're not one of those 1,200, 1,202 to be precise, make sure that you are following that, because that helps it to get seen by other people, especially people that may not know about the Horsemen and are just kind of in that role-playing game world. This may throw that out in front of them, as well as people that maybe are in the action figure world. This may throw that in front of them as well. So make sure you go out and follow that. Should be launching next month. We've already seen a couple of reveals, including the kind of small, what are they? The standees, I think they call. Is that right? Is that what they're calling?
Yeah. Yeah.
Standees. We've seen the paladin, and we've now seen the heroic elf thief. So, any other thoughts on this one, Jesse?
I sign up for it. It's great. I love all things D&D RPG related. That's why I was not at OffWorld Friday night. My in-person group finally got back together. It was virtual, but we started mapping out new characters for a new campaign. So that was exciting to dive back into with those folks, because it's been a hot minute since I got to hang out with them, even online. So hopefully someday I'll get to DM a Mythic Legions role playing adventure for them.
There you go. Awesome. Well, folks, no show next Sunday. At least not for me. I know last week when we couldn't do Shooting the Shelf, I went live on my channel with something else. So who knows? Maybe Jesse will put something else together next week.
I might do something just to have something here, but yeah, we'll not have a regular Shooting the Shelf next week for sure.
Awesome. But we will be back the following week. I have no idea who we're going to have on, but tune in to see that. So,
yeah, I'm not going to look it up right now. I don't remember. I think we have somebody.
I did find out though, as we were starting the show, that apparently there will be a mod squad tomorrow morning because it's the holiday and people are off work. And so I will be on there with Tanya. Not sure who else is going to be there. Jesse, if you're filling up to painting tomorrow,
I work.
That's right. Yeah. Well, for those of us that don't have work, mod squad tomorrow morning. So I believe it's going to be 9 a.m. Eastern. So check that out. Gina, if you're still backstage, hit up Tanya. You can come paint with us. So there you go. She said maybe I'll jump in. Awesome.
Okay.
Beautiful. Anything else, Jesse, that you got coming up that people should know about?
Well, I do have one picture.
You got a sale thing, right?
I haven't done the sale public. I've only sent it to a couple group chats and a couple individual friends, but this is the state of my living room currently. Well, the light's not on. But I'm going through the process of unshelving the shelves. Not all of them, I'm not getting rid of everything, but I kind of hit a critical point and I'm purging out a bunch of stuff. So stay tuned once I get through some of those personal messages with folks, and I get things like better processed, and better posts and everything. I will be putting up some sale posts either in Marketplace or in the different groups and stuff. So I don't want to spam all the groups, but stay tuned in the next week or two. I'll be putting some stuff up for sale, from all sorts of things: comics, books, movies, figures of all varieties. So
beautiful.
Kidneys, livers, some of my own. No, I'm kidding. No organs.
Anything else YouTube related or Instagram related people should know about?
I'm enjoying that the whatever this is, the little brief things in the mornings. Had a fun one with my buddy Brendan, just kind of spur of the moment on Tuesday night after Jeff's working title, where we just kind of info dumped out of my brain and had a good back and forth, and people seem to really react to that. So I might do that every now and then, not every week, not every other week, but maybe once a month or every other month or something, just to bring on someone new and just info dump and just, between me and whoever I'm talking to, just get stuff off our chests and think out loud.
Very cool. Once again, I'll be on Mod Squad tomorrow morning. I'll probably do another Exploded review this week. I did one on the Lowland Skateback that's up on my channel now, if people are interested. And then next week, I will be traveling to Atlanta, probably leaving late Saturday night, and getting there Sunday. I've already gotten some advice from Big Dub on some places to stop in Atlanta, some different toy stores. So I will be doing a travel toy video, hopefully finding some cool stuff. So I know it's been a while since I've traveled for work and had a travel toy video, but there should be one of those coming late next week, possibly the start of the following week. So because I will also be doing some work in Atlanta. So
why are you going to Atlanta and not Muskegon?
Well, because there's not a ski con going on right now, and my work is sending me to Atlanta. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
so it's okay when work tells you to go, but when it's for fun,
yeah, it's what we call Mama Coke. So I'm going down to visit Mama Coke. So yeah, like big time Coke. So Coca-Cola. Yeah.
That's no, I know. I'm not trying to make a joke. My brain's doing something weird when you said Mama Coke, and I don't know what it's trying to do. So let's.
All right.
Yeah.
But anyway, you folks, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Look for that Kickstarter coming out. If you like cool pirate figures with awesome details that you can have as is, or you can customize, be on the lookout for those. And
No, I've never thought that, Alan, but I'm doing it to Curtis right now. And oh man, that was perfect. As soon as I messed around his nose, you put your hand up to your face. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Curtis, thank you for putting up with me, as always. What? Oh. What's on your shelf?